So if we could turn our gaze inward, so to speak. Maybe we feel like closing our eyes or lower our gaze. And welcome our experience, whichever way it's appearing to you. Meaning, no need to fix anything. No need to try to figure anything out. And you can, just for now, no need to involve yourself with any thought or memory or simply noticing whatever is effortlessly being noticed. And whichever way it speaks to you, sink into presence. Notice that all sounds appear in the vastness of silence. That the sensation arises in the vastness of awareness. Nothing that you need to do. Awareness, the peace of presence, notices itself as the presence that you are. All appearances, meaning sensations, perceptions, feelings, images. Arise within you being this aware presence. Whatever appears to you being this aware presence. Is how you, meaning you, this aware presence, appear to yourself. Like in your night dreams, you may appear to yourself as a butterfly, as a unicorn, as an angel. Similarly, the realm of existence is the form you take to yourself and out of yourself. Like the river, the way it flows, takes on the form of the riverbed. It has no will of its own. It flows as it is designed to flow. And the flow is designed by the flow designer. Out of its infinite freedom and infinite creativity. That which creates the flow is that which perceives it, knows it, and is unaffected by its creation. Like fire is unaffected by the heat or the light or the dancing flames that it creates out of itself. Whatever creative power you have is God's power through you. The thought that refers to personal power is a falsehood, because there is no separate person, no separate anything in the entire cosmos. The belief that I am a personal doer with a personal will apart from the cosmic will is unhappy. Because behind this thought, there is the belief that I am a personal consciousness apart from the whole. That I depend on a body-mind, that I am born and bound to die. I perceive and feel myself as a bundle of feelings and images and memories and stories and sensations and a bubble of self, of personal self. I feel myself and I define myself in relationships with family, teacher and teachers and society and events and tribes and religions. all of which are separate notions of separation, that veil my true nature as this transparent, aware presence that has no name, no age, and it goes by all names and all ages, that has no form and no shape, and yet goes by all forms and all shapes, that is transparent and infinite, and yet it dreams all dreams out of itself via infinite minds, remaining whole and complete, undivided, undisturbed, irrespective of its infinite dreams. And this borderless, aware presence that I am, that is the isness, the beingness, the universal consciousness, invites itself via infinite minds or infinite body minds to recognize itself, to recognize the true significance of I. That I does not refer to a separate stream, to a separate self, to a separate wave, to a separate form. That I refers to the infinite, invisible, the reality of being, the freedom, the joy, the love, the beauty, the wholeness, the oneness of being. Being, presence, doesn't define itself. Doesn't define itself via the past, via the future, past regrets, future hopes. It does not accumulate experiences to rehash, to review, to study. It does not seek happiness in the forms and permanent realm of existence. It recognizes itself as the peace of being, the joy, the freedom, the happiness, the love, the beauty. Recognizes itself. Direct recognition. Which comes hand in hand with the realization of the falsehood of the separate self. Whatever you protect is false. Whatever you try to augment is false. Looking for answers in the mind, in the world, in the body. And lead you deeper and deeper in the illusion. You cannot find God's reality in the dream. Upon recognizing the dreamer, you recognize the reality of consciousness, God's mind. In some religious traditions, they have the vows of celibacy. The vows of celibacy are deeply misunderstood. The simple mind understands celibacy to be avoiding relationships, avoiding marriages, avoiding celibacy refers to choosing God. In your life, all what unfolds doesn't matter. It has no significance of its own, whether you're in a relationship or not. Doesn't matter. Celibacy is not about no relationship. It's about understanding that it doesn't matter. And understanding that what matters is awakening, the realization of God's reality, your true nature. It is not the path of asceticism. It is the path of understanding and discrimination. Love God in everything and everyone. And realize that what you think you are and what you feel you are, that you are not. I refers to awareness, consciousness. Not to any particular state of mind. States of mind don't matter. I does not refer to a particular experience. It refers to the reality of consciousness. My reality, I consciousness. The reality of my experience is I consciousness. Everything that I know via I consciousness. Well, if there are any questions or anything you would like to share or explore, please make sure to unmute your mic, and if you would like to turn on your video, then we can enjoy seeing each other. So any questions? Hello, Holger.
Thank you, Magdi, for making it so clear and transparent. And I was wondering, what is it in me that I assume to be precious and that I defend, like this me? And I discovered something interesting today. It was like a deep fear of other people. I don't know how to describe it, but there was such it's an old, I recognized it as like a really like a very old fear. And it was just so familiar that somehow I forgot that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds funny, but it was just, basically just a fear of people in general,
Mm-hmm.
which just always made me pull back. And this was, it just feels good just to allow it, to see it. For me, it's just like a letting go, or it's just, what a nonsense. I mean, and I suffered so much from this most of my life.
Yes.
Just always pulling myself back,
Yes.
Weird. It doesn't make any sense, but it was just liberating, and it made sense in context of what you share about this me, this separate self, and where does it come from? And so it was just a fear that created just this feeling of being a separate entity.
Yes. No, what you're saying makes sense. The sense of me, the sense of self, of separate self, is formed, in little doses, in as the body mind is experiencing, from infant, being an infant, growing into teenagerhood and adulthood. There are a variety of experiences that, in a way, like the sense of me is contagious via relationship with our parents and teachers and friends, because it's there in the space. We sort of develop that sense of me. To a certain extent, there is a sense of me which is necessary for functioning in the world. There is a so-called more or less healthy ego that is necessary to function in the world without constantly going back to mommy, daddy, or whatever. But there are also other aspects besides that are like, people pulling you down, or sometimes the parents, they sort of force the children to act in certain ways. I remember when I was a young boy, whenever there were guests coming over, my father used to always insist that I come and say hello to. Well, they were strangers to me; they were adults, and it may seem banal, but at the time for me it was a little scary. But I had to do it. You see, there are numerous experiences that, of course, and being in school and all that, that I was in boarding school at a very young age, so there was the whole sense of abandonment, and the cocoon was sort of done maybe too quickly. I don't know. Yes, so the sense of me is there, and one could say that it's sort of in the cellar, in the basement, in the lower level. It's there. We don't notice it because we just gotten used to this slight foul smell in the basement. Like the mold. We got used to the mold smell in the basement. We don't notice it anymore. But every now and then, some event may happen, and then the emotion arises, the feeling of, you hurt my feelings, or how dare you speak to me this way, or so there is that aspect of the emotions that we know. We work hard for something, and the boss gives the promotion to somebody else. We feel a sense of injustice. And sometimes we don't feel love, or we feel jealousy, whatever, but besides that, there is this sense of me. And of course, we could look into more or less how it got developed, and we may have some limited insight into how my particular sense of me was developed. I can remember some things here and there. But what matters most is to comprehend, and that's available to us, that irrespective of all of that, the body-mind events, irrespective of the personal past mind events and so on, that there is a reality to my experience, and that is I awareness. That is awareness, which is referred to as I, the true self. So there is an understanding that is, in a way, I was going to say the healer of all wounds, but scars remain. It's okay. It's okay, the scars. It's okay every now and then that you're itching an old scar, you see. But the wound is no longer bleeding, or is no longer infected. So the realization of our true nature, that what I truly is, what my experience right now, like your experience, like all of our experience, is experience of awareness. And that awareness is not personal, doesn't have like, it's not a male awareness or a female awareness or an American awareness or a European awareness. It's not like that. That our experience is that of awareness, and that's the same awareness across time and space. And that our experience, this moment, is an experience of awareness. One could say awareness taken on the form of a hearing, sensing, perceiving, whatever, feeling. So it's a creative aspect of consciousness, a creative aspect of awareness that plays as this play right here, this theater, this stage, without being affected, without anything occurring to what I is, what I truly is. Of course, many things affect the body-mind. Yeah. But once there is the understanding of what I truly is, we recognize the effect onto the body-mind, but we're not defending it, we're not identifying with it, is nothing at stake. Of course, we do our best to, take care of the body, take care of the world, the planet, take care of our family, our neighbors, our friends, and society in general as best we can. But there is nothing at stake. There's nothing at stake. This deep comprehension, not just a belief, but deep comprehension that there's nothing at stake, provides the freedom that you are. It's the freedom of being is unveiled, and freedom and love and beauty and happiness, they all come together. Empathy and sympathy, they all sort of bloom, reveal, they're unveiled, and that makes the dream so much sweeter when there is that comprehension, that understanding, that lived understanding, that understanding that's living itself through you. So, yeah, there are fears, and it's good to sort of notice that, but it's like a teeny tiny candlelight as compared to the sunlight of consciousness, the sunlight of awareness.
it's just so beautiful because there's such a strong contrast between, I mean, my whole life I always resisted. I spent so much energy just to be on my own, to be by myself, because yeah, I couldn't allow, I wasn't aware of this awareness. I always, there was such a struggle, such a survival, and it's just a release now to relax into it and to really feel this presence. This is so beautiful. This is quite amazing.
Nice.
And I also wanted to thank George and John for the last satsang. Those questions were quite interesting and deeply resonated in me. Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Bernadette. Bernadette, you write, Magdi, I realized after hearing you speak at the Rupert meetup, oh, okay, that I too have sibling relationships where I am needed. CLD, I don't know what CLD is, but CLD, I talked to you more about this either at another Rupert meetup or another time. You have my email, didn't know how to get back in touch with you. Namaste, it's a separate self-question. Right now we are all soft. Okay, Bernadette, you can, I'm not sure if I have your email, maybe I do, but I will write you my email. Okay, well, that's my email in case you want to write it down then. Any questions? Hello, Hare Krishna. Let me see if we can unmute. You are still muted. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, okay, you're unmuted now.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the beautiful session. And this is the first time I'm here.
Yes.
Been practicing Advaita for some time, for me 3 or 4 months, and like I experience like everything, like the room, and like I kind of experience it when I'm meditating, that the room and the world and everything that I like, this Hare Krishna, the body mind is part of the vast consciousness, but also there's like this recurring thought that there are like that consciousness is a dependent phenomena, like how a candle flame is a product of like the wax and the wick and the increase in temperature and so on. So like what do I do about the thought?
Yes. So first, it's important that we are clear about how we are using the term consciousness. So when we are talking, we're not talking about oranges and apples. So by consciousness, I'm referring to reality, to the reality, whatever it is that right now is and perceives. Not the instrument, not like the bird watcher, he uses or she uses binoculars to see the birds in the distance. The binoculars are the instrument. The bird watcher is that which perceives. So the body, with the senses, the eyes, the sense of smell and hearing, is an instrument, a very wonderful, beautiful instrument. But it is not that which perceives. Instrument does not perceive. So by consciousness, I'm referring to whatever it is that perceives, the reality that perceives. Now, Hare Krishna, it could be that this experience we are having right now could be a dream. It's possible in the realm of possibilities that we are asleep right now in a different galaxy, dreaming this dream, dreaming this. It's possible that this is a dream. Although this may be a dream, there is a reality that perceives the dream. And that reality is what I refer to as consciousness. Another word we use for consciousness, which we all agree on, all 7 billion human beings in their own different languages, we refer to that which perceives as I. I perceive. Yes? So I just want to start with clarifying how we're using the word awareness/consciousness. So then the question is, I feel that consciousness depends on the body or depends on experience. That's the question. Now, experience is that which appears, which we also refer to it as existence, that which exists, that which arises. So experience is a phenomenon which arises. And in our the human realm, we experience thoughts, memories, images. We experience perceptions, like we perceive the oak tree in the yard. We perceive our car in the garage. And sensations, bodily sensations, the sensation of our feet on the ground, the sensation of the breath. So our experience arises as thoughts, sensations, and perceptions. And thoughts appear and disappear. They appear and dissolve. Then another thought. Same with perceptions. And the same with sensations. Now, that which perceives, in other words, that which perceives the thought or the perception right now, remains the same when the object, when the thought changes. For example, the thought, gee, I love pineapples. And the next thought is, I would love to travel around the world. So these two are different thoughts, thought A and thought B. But that which perceives thought A, the reality that perceives thought A, is the same reality that perceives thought B. Similarly with sensation, when you are hungry, let's say you experience the sensation of hunger. That's sensation A. Let's say there's another sensation, the sensation of tiredness. Those two sensations are different sensations. Hunger is not tiredness, and tiredness is not hunger. Tiredness does not know hunger, hunger does not know tiredness. But that which knows the hunger, meaning that which perceives the sensation of hunger, and that which perceives the sensation of tiredness, that remains the same. You see? So consciousness, if you look at your experience, yes, there are changes, changing. There is a river that's flowing, but there is the reality of this river is the same. It's water. It's H2O as a metaphor. So the belief that consciousness depends on the body mixes levels. In the level of phenomena, meaning in the level of experience, the world, body, mind, there is relationship, there is conditionality. There is conditionality. There are relationships, there are interactions. Volcanic eruption leads to clouds and then lava, etc. There are relationships of conditionality, to say, one can say, or not necessarily conditionality, but correlation. But when it comes to consciousness, consciousness is not phenomenal, meaning it is not what you experience. It is that which is. Another way of saying it is that which I am. So I am, amness, does not refer to body, does not refer to a thought, does not refer to a sensation. It refers to reality. So notice that in your experience, you don't experience consciousness inside your body or inside a room. Like right now, you're perceiving a room, let's say, which is a perception, yes? This perception, you are not arising in this perception. This perception is actually arising in you. You follow? That's your experience. I'm not trying to present a new philosophy. I am inviting you to see if this makes sense in your experience, that this perception is arising to you, in you. You are not arising, you do not arise inside the perception. Similarly, a sensation, let's say the sensation of your feet on the ground. That sensation is arising to you, in you, meaning your awareness. It's arising to you. You are not arising inside the sensation. You follow? Given you do not arise inside the sensation, you could not be dependent on the sensation, because the sensation is arising in you, so it depends on you, rather than you consciousness, depending on the sensation. It is the sensation, it's the reverse, it's the sensation that depends on consciousness. So it is correct to say, yes, the world, body, mind depends on consciousness, let's say, as a way of speaking. But it is not correct according to your experience to say that I, consciousness, depend on the sensation or depend on the body. Body meaning sensation or images or thoughts or feelings. That's not a correct conclusion. But I do understand it, because we have that belief. But the belief can only become truth if it is what there is evidence that says, yes, there is evidence that says, yes, I depend on the sensation. I, meaning consciousness, depend on the sensation. If your evidence says, yes, I depend on what I perceive, then you can come to that conclusion. But if your conclusion is no, I don't depend on what I perceive. What I perceive depends on me because it's arising in me. I don't arise in it. Then you have to let go of the wrong model. And you may have to do it a few times because like when you walk on the sand, there is an imprint on the sand. It doesn't go away right away. It takes a while for the imprint to, as a metaphor, to So consciousness, is its own evidence. If thought is not the evidence, is not the evidence of consciousness. There is no consciousness is its own evidence. It does not rely on its creation or what it perceives to be its evidence. In other words, consciousness does not, let me say the word, how would I say it? Consciousness is not real because it perceives the oak tree. It's true that consciousness perceives the oak tree. It is true that consciousness perceives the sensation of hunger. It is true that consciousness perceives the thought, I would love to travel around the world. Yes, but this does not mean that consciousness only is when it is perceiving. And let me tell you, let me give you a little exercise that supports what I'm sharing with you right now. When you ask yourself, am I aware? Your answer would be, yes, I am aware. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Now, when you ask yourself, am I aware? You are not going to check you're not going to look at the oak tree, or you're not going to look at the thought, do I love to travel around the world or not? You're not looking at the feeling, the sensation of hunger. You're not. You are just going directly to consciousness. Consciousness is directly asking itself, am I aware? Yes, I'm aware. You're not going to a thought or to a sensation or to a perception to knock on their door and they'll tell you, yes, of course you're aware because you just saw me or you just experienced me. No, that's not your experience. When you ask yourself, am I aware? You're not going to a sensation, perception, thought. Consciousness is going directly to itself. It's already itself. As a way of speaking, I'm saying it goes directly to itself, but it's a relative way of speaking. It knows it is real, and it knows that it knows irrespective of perception, thought, or sensation. It's an important understanding, to understand that you are, that I am, I meaning consciousness, am, irrespective of the word, body, mind. And I am, let me put it another way, I am the consciousness, the reality of consciousness, in the presence or in the absence of word, body, mind. But one note. When I say in the presence of the world, body, mind, I do not mean that there is a world, body, mind out there. There is a world, body, mind as an impression, as an illusion, as a perception. Its reality, the reality of the world, body, mind, is not that which you perceive. It is that which perceives. So the reality of all illusion, the entire mind is illusion. The reality of illusion. Now, maybe I'm moving too fast. Illusion doesn't mean ignorance, but the reality of the illusion is consciousness. And I'm not talking about ignorance. Ignorance is something else.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was asking that particularly, it made sense, your answer. I was asking that particularly because like a year ago, I had like a sports accident, like where like I fell off my bike and then I was unconscious for like 6 hours or something. And like due to that concussion, like it made me think that, oh, like I was not aware, like I was not aware of anything at all, like for 6 hours. Like, so like maybe like it was dependent on like, yeah, maybe it was like dependent on the body because like, yeah, but I kind of understand like what you mean.
Well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting experience of the body being unconscious or deep sleep or anesthesia. During these experiences, there is no experience. There is no world, body, mind. Right? There is no perception, no sensation, no images, no feelings. Yes, so it's a suspension of the dream. So anesthesia or unconsciousness is a suspension. In this case, it was an accident. In the case of anesthesia, it's the anesthetic. In deep sleep, it's the deep sleep. Is a suspension of the world body mind. So the world body mind is, in other words, the God is not dreaming anything right there. Yeah, I'm not gonna dream now. Now the fact that there is no dream, the fact there is no sensation, perception, or mentation, does not mean the end of consciousness. Does not mean the end of consciousness. That's a jump that we are making. In this jump, we are assuming, it's pure assumption, that consciousness depends on experience. In other words, we are confusing the absence of thoughts, the absence of sensations, the absence of perceptions, with the absence of consciousness. Because we are assuming that consciousness is an experience. Consciousness is not an experience. Consciousness is the reality of experience and its own reality. It's the one reality, you see. So from the mind says, darn, there is no perceptions, no memories, no thoughts. So therefore there was no consciousness. Because the mind, which is thinking, is making a lie. It is a lie. There is a lie in there. The lie is the following. I, the mind, can tell you whether there is consciousness or not. But the mind, meaning thought, cannot know that which perceives it. It is known, but it is not knowing. The thought that, oh, there was no consciousness, the thought cannot perceive. A thought cannot, even if a very powerful thought comes to you, Hare Krishna, telling you, there was no consciousness. It doesn't matter. A thought is something that you perceive. It does not know anything about consciousness. This is very important, subtle understanding here, that thought is known, a sensation is known, a perception is known. Consciousness is that which knows. A thought does not know. Even though it's whispering in your ear, believe me, believe me, believe me, it's a liar. It does not know. You know it. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
Follow? So yes, it's true that after anesthesia, you woke up, a thought came, gee, there was no consciousness. That thought is a liar.
Yeah.
Consciousness is not the mind. The mind is known by consciousness, it's created by consciousness, it is known by consciousness, but consciousness doesn't need the mind. It can completely erase the mind. In fact, most likely the death of the body would be quite a dramatic eraser of the mind. Well, deep sleep for sure, deep sleep. In deep sleep, your mother isn't there, your car isn't there, your house isn't there, your bike isn't there, your body isn't there, your hunger isn't there, your tiredness is not there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you are there. It's not the body, not the mind. So the dissolution or the end of the dream does not mean the end of the dreamer, as a metaphor. Don't confuse consciousness with a body-mind experience. Look at consciousness as the reality, that which is real across time and space, which is consciousness. The reality that perceives right now. And the reality that perceives right now is not called Hare Krishna. It has no name. It's not a male perception or a female perception. Right? Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Amna.
So I still think I'm a person.
So a thought is arising to you. The thought says, I am Amna. You read the thought. You perceive the thought. A feeling arises to you, a sensation arises to you that says, this feeling is saying, I am Amna. You perceive this sensation, you perceive this. And you say yes? Okay. What is it that says yes? What is it that perceives the sensation? Can a sensation perceive a sensation? Can a thought perceive a thought? No. A thought does not perceive a thought. Something perceives the thought that says, I am Amna. What is it that perceives this thought? Given it's not a thought cannot perceive. What is it that perceives?
I don't know.
I perceive. The thought is perceived,
Yeah.
yes? You agreed? It's perceived.
Yeah.
It's perceived somewhere. Where? It's perceived right here. meaning in presence, as presence. I don't mean right here in the kitchen or the dining room. I lost your video. Oh, here you are. So it's perceived right here, right now. Right now, you're perceiving these words, yes?
Yes.
Right here, right now. What is it that perceives them? I told you you're perceiving, and you said yes. When you say you perceive them, what do you say? When you said yes so quickly, what did you mean by you? I, right? I am. I am not. I'm sure it was I am not. How about I? Don't just stop right there. I just stop for a second. Please stop for a second. Just I. Okay, we'll come back to Amna later. Just I. Yes? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So I perceive this perception. This I right now in this moment is not a history. It's not the past. The past cannot perceive. Right? Past thoughts, past sensations, past memories, past stories, my culture, my whatever, that cannot perceive, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I perceive. I perceive. Yes? Amna is, what is Amna? What is Amna? There is an Amna. Amna is sensation, perception. It's what we call the body Amna. We call the house Amna's house. The car Amna's car. So it's Amna is a movement of thoughts, sensations, perceptions. But there isn't like an actual Amna in a box and a bottle, or there isn't inside your body somebody called Amna, or inside your brain. If we open your brain, we're not going to find somebody named Amna in there. Right? Right? Yes?
Yeah.
We are going to find Amna when we open your thought. We open the thought, says, I am Amna. Okay? So please present to me that thought so I can open it. Give me a thought opener. Give me the thought that I am Amna. I want to, with you right now, virtually, take the thought opener, open that thought that says I am Amna, and we're going to both become friendly with this Amna. I'm just joking. But you follow what I'm saying? That in your experience, which is right here, right now, Amna appears to you as a thought, as a sensation, as an image, as I don't know, as a belief. I, this awareness is called Amna. You can call the body Amna if you want. It's okay. Your mom already did. Your mom and dad already did. That's fine. You said, okay, fine. What choice do I have? I'll change my name later if I don't like it. But it's a nice name, so I'm Amna. Okay, fine. As the body, you can call your car Josephine. That which perceives is not an object. It's not a phenomenal experience. is not something that you can perceive, is that which you are. I am this transparency of being. I am that. That's like, it's as obvious as the nose on your face. Is that the expression? As obvious as the nose on your face.
I can't see my nose. Too small.
Okay, well, as obvious as the nose on my face. How about that? That I is consciousness, is awareness. And that there is a thought that I perceive. That thought is gone now. The thought that I'm now, she's gone. Now the thought is, wow, nice, split pea soup tonight, I must be hungry. Yes, you follow?
Yeah.
So when you say yes to the thought, I am Amna, that's your freedom. Your freedom as consciousness. You're free to define yourself as Amna if you want. And then you will experience what we refer to as the sense of me, the sense of limitation, which Holger was talking about earlier. You will experience the separate, the limited, the experience of limitation, of lack, of need, of desire, of unhappiness.
Okay, so I perceive thoughts and sensations and images and a body.
Yes.
And because I perceive it, I can't be that.
Yes.
Like what you were saying earlier, it exists in me. I don't exist in it.
In it, yes. You don't exist in a perception. You don't exist in a sensation. The sensation or the perception or the thought exists in you. It arises out of you and is perceived by you and it dissolves back into you. You being consciousness, not you being the body. It doesn't dissolve back in your belly or in your chest or in your shoulder or your brain. No, it's just back into you. It dissolves into you, into awareness, like a black hole.
I have like yesterday I had an image of of something in the past and like the way I showed up and like there was shame.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, like that was me.
when you perceive an image and a certain behavior which arises to you also as an image, and you're identified with this image, that is me. If let's say you perceive an image of body mind, which you refer to as Amna. It looks like you, like when you were 12, and your mom told you don't eat all the cookies, but you ate all the cookies. I'm projecting my own version of what I would do. And so you feel ashamed, In fact, at that moment, there's only one you, consciousness. You are identifying yourself. This image is saying, I am Amna. And consciousness, which is perceiving this image, says, yes, I am this 12-year-old girl. And this 12-year-old girl is eating all the cookies she's not supposed to. And so you will experience shame. Why? Because you've agreed as consciousness to identify yourself with this image, which we refer to a memory, an image, a thought, a current thought. It's because it's a current thought. You cannot go into the past. No matter how hard you try, the past is gone, absolutely gone. Absolutely gone. You won't find it anywhere. You can travel to Mars, you won't find it. But you choose to identify yourself with that 12-year-old girl that you say, okay, I am this girl, I am this Amna, and I'm eating all the cookies. And so you're going to experience shame. Yes. It's your freedom. Your freedom is to experience shame. So this is your choice. So as consciousness, you choose to experience shame. Yes. But you have another option. The other option is to recognize, well, this is an image arising to me. It's arising out of me. I am fabricating, creating this image, perceiving this image, but I know myself. I remain knowing myself. I know myself as presence, as awareness, as consciousness. I'm perceiving this perception. I'm perceiving this sensation. Okay, so I went to the movies. I saw a show. It was a nice show, a great show, not so good show, whatever. Okay.
Not so good show.
Not so good show. Okay, well, don't go to that movie again. Don't rerun it. Don't, you have to, don't put it back. Don't say, okay, wait, let me put it on pause. I'm going to come back or go have a lunch or dinner and come back and play it again or continue it, pause and then resume. Don't resume.
Well,
Magdi, I was going to say, can I make a comment here that might be useful?
Yes, yours.
I want to really sympathize with what Amna said, because I've been there for a long, long time. If someone tried to convince me that I'm not George, I was very resistant to that notion. Of course I'm George. What kind of nonsense are you trying to tell me? But then what I did, but it worked for me, I'm just trying to think what worked for me,
Yes.
is to ask myself the question, where is George? Where am I? I asked the question, let's say you cut off my left arm. Am I still here? Well, yes. You cut off the right arm. Am I still here? Then I suppose I'm in the hospital and all of my body from the neck down is gone. Am I still here? Yes, I'm still here. And so I got the point that I'm not my body. Oh, of course, I'm my mind. That's it. But then, suppose I had amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
All my memory, thoughts, beliefs are gone. Am I still here? I am.
Yes.
Anyhow, it took me, I'm simplifying that,
Yes.
but it took me a long time. I just want to sympathize with Anna. It took me a long time, but that was the route that worked for me. Asking yourself, where am I?
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, that's my comment. Thank you.
Yes, nice comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, there is the practice of neti. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Is a term that's a Sanskrit term to refer to I am not this, not that. So I am not my hand, I'm not my arm, I'm not my belly, I'm not my legs, I'm not my face, I'm not my brain, I am not my thoughts, I am not my sensations. And so the neti approach is that I am not anything that, and I'm not any, I'm not this, I'm not that. So the neti approach will bring you to not knowing, to that I don't know what I am. I know what I am not, but I don't know what I am. So beyond the neti approach, there is the, well, whatever Sanskrit words I was going to say, Atma Vishara, but there is the inquiry into it, and what am I? Obviously, there is a reality. There is a reality. There is something rather than nothing. And it's true that I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not anything. But yet there is a reality. What is this reality? So there is a contemplation beyond the neti of the reality of consciousness, the reality of I. That's a necessary and it's a complementary and necessary aspect of the realization of our true nature.
As I've been considering this, there's like a sense of emptiness that comes up.
The sense of emptiness is an experience you are having. It is not that which you are. So a sense of emptiness is something that you're experiencing. It is not that which you are. So something is perceiving a sense of emptiness. Don't confuse yourself to be the sense of emptiness which you are perceiving.
So I can't be anything that I'm perceiving.
I'm sorry?
I can't be anything that I'm perceiving.
You are that which perceives. You are the reality which perceives. You are not anything that you perceive. Everything or anything that you perceive depends on you, and it's your freedom to choose to identify yourself or to define yourself via that which you perceive. But I don't recommend it.
I don't either.
So the sense of emptiness, or the sense of whatever sense we have, is just a sense. It's an experience. It's a particular experience. Not all experiences are the same, and not all colors are the same. You have yellow, pink, blue, red, and various shades of red and various shades of blues. At some level, they're all equal, but at another level, they're different colors of the rainbow. You follow?
Yeah, I was like what you were saying, I was associating the sense of emptiness and sadness as me.
No. The sense of emptiness, the sense of sadness is something you are perceiving. How can you be something you're perceiving, except if you choose to somehow insist on it, or then I'm not going to rain on your parade, but I'm inviting you to a different parade. So maybe I am raining on your parade a little bit.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Is yours.
I just want to comment on Hare Krishna's remark about being unconscious. And I think part of the confusion is just the word consciousness. That is, when he says he's lost consciousness, he means he's lost it in a certain sense. And you were saying, well, no, he was still conscious. What I'm really implying is that the word consciousness is really used in two different senses.
Yes.
And maybe we should refer to your sense of conscious, maybe we should call it awareness, but that's not a good word either, because that's also, you know, perhaps confusing. I don't know. I don't want to suggest another word, but I'm just trying to say that there's a linguistic problem.
Well, the way I refer to it is that conventionally we're misusing the word consciousness.
Okay, yes. But that is the conventional usage, yes.
Yes,
Right.
Conventionally we are misusing the term consciousness. This is why I like to, whenever possible, remind us of what consciousness is. There's only one reality, one God, one truth, one consciousness.
Yeah, like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's funny. Yeah, like that's what the doctor said. You were not conscious, but the doctor also said that, like I was out and about. I was like looking at things and so on, and he would ask me like questions about like, who are you? When were you born? And I had responses for some of them, even though I don't remember any of those. Like, for example, he would ask me my name. I would tell him I'm Hari. And he would ask me my birth date. I wouldn't tell. I would tell him I don't know. And I think what is funny was he asked me several questions about where I'm studying, where I'm at, and which year is it. And I said something like 2017, when it was actually 2018. And then like he asked me about my parents and everything I couldn't answer. And he asked me who is the president of America. And I said, Donald Trump. I shouted like Donald Trump 4 times. And he found that very funny. Yeah. And I don't remember any of this. So I'm like, there was some awareness. Yeah. That I guess but I was not me, but I was drawing from some memories, but not all of them. I can see like, it's like a computer system where one of its drives are like not accessible. I don't know. That's the analogy I can think of.
I just want to make a comment here that whether there was partial or total absence of the functioning of the computer, the partial dysfunctioning of the computer does not prove that consciousness is, or the complete absence of the functioning of the computer does not prove that, or signify that consciousness is not. So whether the computer was functioning partially or not at all is insignificant for consciousness. It is significant for the communication with the doctor. Is significant for the body mind, but it's completely non-significant for consciousness, because consciousness is the reality the reality, period, and as well as the reality of all dreams, the reality of the mind, of all minds, the reality of the world, the reality of the universe, the reality of the cosmos is consciousness. We can go into that another time, but once you understand that, then the next thing is to understand that as reality, there is not possible for reality to be more real or less real when it's dreaming that it knows the president's name, or it has no recollection whatsoever of the president's name. The only thing that you are sharing, Harry, is that in fact there were during that those 6 hours there were moments where there was some cognition at the body-mind level. It's always at the body-mind. There was consciousness was still playing the Donald Trump cards 4 times. That's overdoing it. But consciousness is complete freedom. So God's freedom.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of another analogy. It's like, I don't know. I guess analogies I don't capture the full meaning, but like I guess like something like if the real you, the consciousness is the whiteboard, and all the stuff that's written on it is the body mind, like something that you perceive.
Right.
And during my experience, some of it was like partially covered or erased or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
The dream world is a little bit like that too. The dream world, and then deep sleep is almost nothing. It's almost just a screen. But yeah, in the dream world, there's also yes. It's a good metaphor, the screen and the images on the screen. With a note that the images on the screen are arising out of the screen. It's a special screen. It's a screen that is also the choreographer and the actor and the perceiver. What a screen.
Yeah, thank you, George. Yeah.
Well, okay. Thank you all. Lovely to see you as usual. Trish. Hello, Priyanka. Zoe. Hey, Zoe. George, and Holger, Amna, and Harry Krishna. Nice to see you and be with you. Bernadette. Hello, Bernadette. And Jenny. Hola, Jenny. Marga. John. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.